It's called Untitled. And this one is from Dear Selection Committee. And I'll tell you a little bit about the book in a minute after I read the poem. My address is nostalgia for things that never happened. I wander in and out of coincidence, dragging a wagon full of unrequited lovers behind me. I visit the infirmary for broken planets and ill poets, where I bandage metaphors and remove stitches from busted couplets. All will be well again, poets restored to their regular neurotic tendencies, free to enter emotional and psychological terrain that would make others run panicked from the landslides inside their minds. Oh, what we embrace to avoid the life we've been given. Oh, what we embrace to live the life we've been given. Call everything you've ever done untitled. It's the only honest way to create. Generate a disaster in your life to sidestep the true catastrophe of your life. Oh, there's a universe with a bell around its neck purring outside your bedroom door. Let it in. Oh, I tried to make this about you, but it's about me. My awful claws, my electric arch, bats and blue jays hunted from trees. I thought it was good, but I never was. I'm coming home with a bleeding angel between my teeth. Open the door to the heart's door. Imperfection is the only muse, and I am her handmaiden. Please love me anyway. Okay, so the next poem is called In the House, I Built Another House. It's also from Dear Selection Committee. And what I wanted to say about this book is that it is arranged as if it were a job application. So it's in two big sections. And the first section is the letter of application, and the second section is the interview. And then within these two big sections, there are smaller sections and parts, which are based around specific questions that might be asked in an interview or that kind of thing. So the one that I just read was in contact information, and the one that I'm about to read is also in contact information, and it's in the application part. In the house, I built another house. In the house, I built another house, and that was my body, made of wine, pills, and regret, made of cigarettes and self-blame. Smoke and baby cries leaked from all the windows. The baby's face was a red fist punching nothing. Then the doctor said pregnant, and I said, I'll never be good enough. And the doctor said, the baby is not yet a baby. I said, I am the baby. I went home and built another house, one that my husband could not enter, a fortress of withdrawal. He drank for both of us. I started making bones. That poem is kind of interesting for me because I'm sure all of you who write know that the amount of time that it takes to write one poem is just not equal to the amount of time that it takes to write another poem. And there's not a lot of rhyme or reason to it. I have poems that have taken me literally years to write, and other poems that have just popped out in 10 or 15 minutes. And some of the ones that took less time to write are actually some of my favorite ones. And but the one that I just read, I had that last line about making bones in my mind for like probably 15 years before I found a poem to house it. So it's kind of an interesting thing. I don't know if other poets just sort of float around with lines that are waiting to land. So, and it was a gift. That line was a gift to me from one of my friends in graduate school, because he was telling me about how his sister was talking about making bones when she was pregnant. And I said, oh, I love that. And he said, you can have it. So anyway, the next poem is called My Kind, and it's from the personal statement section of Dear Selection Committee. My life's burning. That's what I mean when they ask how I am, and I say fine. Rope dangling, kicking the chair out from under me, fine. Flirting with blades, fine. Looking for Pallas Athena in my pancake, fine. Why would she visit that twerp Telemachus and not me? In my spare time, I'm building a death out of sad songs and leftover microwavable food. I'm building a life out of sad songs, good friends, and leftover microwavable food. It occurs to me that I might be my own soulmate. That's how I've ended up in this body alone. But science says the self is not so simple. I'm a mosaic of viruses, bacteria, and likely other people. All of us making decisions together. Group hug. I am my own kind. I'll learn to play piano like Hélène Grimaud. I'll see blue rising from the notes. I'll be an amateur bird watcher, a volunteer firefighter, a gourmet chef, a great humanitarian. I'll plant a prize-winning garden, grow a pot farm. My hair is on fire. I'm running out of time. Maybe I'll learn to paint, get a cat or dog, something sweet that likes to cuddle and craps outside the house, something feral and one step from wild, something that when the moon jumps in the lake, we'll jump in after, howling in awe of the lake, in awe of the moon, in awe of itself and every other disappearing thing, my kind. So that actually alludes to the poem Her Kind by Anne Sexton. So I'm sure a lot of people know that poem. That was kind of an inspiration there, even though the poem is very different. The next poem is from the interview section, and it's called What Are Some, or it's from the subsection called What Are Some Important Lessons You Have Learned from Previous Jobs? And this poem I kind of wanted to read because I've been thinking a lot about what it means to be a woman in this world and what it means to live in a body that other people want to have control over. And the poem is not exactly an answer to that question, but it's sort of an exploration of it. So, Revolution in C minor. While democracy is a pigeon looking for a landing, consumerism is an accident from when God fell asleep. Now the skyline is inside me, like a door leading to someone else's bedroom. Nothing on the dresser is mine. The ornate gold frames hold other people's children. The jewelry box, someone else's jade. I move across the carpet in my slippers and mist. A myth not yet written. What it is I want to become, no man can answer or buy. It's possible I'm the mother of vast, dark silences. It's possible I will grandparent a litter of storms. So the next poem is a new poem. It's not in any books yet. And it just came out. I can't remember just at the moment where it was published. I think it was the Nashville Review. And yes, it was a Nashville Review. So I wrote this poem because at the beginning of the pandemic, I lost a lot of people just suddenly and in very close succession in about 2 weeks. And at the same time, or shortly before, my boyfriend and my daughter and I had been listening to a series of interviews with Dolly Parton, which are really wonderful. I highly recommend them. I don't know, maybe Chris can put in the chat where we heard those. I think it might have been a Radio Lab or somewhere like that. But anyway, she was talking about sad ass songs, and the idea of sad ass songs sort of got twisted around and worked its way into the title of my poem. So The title of the poem is All the People Who Died and Their Hopes That Died With Them and My Sad Ass Dangly Silver Earrings. So I bought these big dangly silver earrings, like a big pack of them. I was thinking about that too. I don't have them on right now. So the poem. 6 of my people in 10 days, so I order 6 of the 59 packs of dangly silver earrings and make a caprese salad from thinly sliced watermelon instead of tomato. No one can tell me what death is, because in death's mansion, the lights are off and we can't read the manual in the dark. Inside the second floor bathroom now, a small boy sits, depressing as a public restroom urinal. I hand him a clock and a body-piercing gun. He hands me a mirror, which I use to apply foundation, contour, and concealer to all the ill-digested news visiting my face as blemishes. Peace is on a far shelf. The more earrings I have, the more I can afford to lose. So the next poem, I'm going to make things a little lighter here for a minute, is called My Boyfriend's Body's Covered in Newspaper, and it's from Dear Selection Committee. It's in the section called Education and Formal Training. And so basically what happened is, I think it was in 2019, there was a tropical storm, a subtropical storm named Melissa. And it was actually shaped like a penis. And so people were making all these funny jokes on Twitter about it. And my boyfriend sent me the article and said, this would make a really funny poem. So here's the poem that came from that. My boyfriend's body's covered in newspaper, and the headline says, penis-shaped subtropical storm Melissa arouses commentary on Twitter. And I'm like, I told you. And he's like, will you still love me when my shoreline starts eroding? Life's never dull when your name's Melissa and your mascot is a huge, erect, disembodied penis hovering over the Atlantic, which is to say, abso-fucking-lutely, I'll still love you. What surprises me about the body is resilience. Mine has been a shot glass, a punching bag, a cigarette filter, a crash test dummy, a lie detector. Oh, how it opens and opens anyway when passion comes near. So I reign 7 days and 7 nights inside the penis outline. I whisper the safe word to the ocean in case it's had enough. And when my beloved asks what time I'll be over, I say I'd travel 1,000 years for one night of this wonder. So, how long have I been reading?
You have been reading about a little over 15 minutes, like 17 minutes.
Okay, I'll read maybe 2 more poems. Does that sound good?
That's fine. That's fine. 2, 3, however you feel.
Okay, great. Let me see. Okay, so the next poem I'll read then is To Be with Trees. Another woman poem. Anybody who knows me well knows I love trees. I have a section on my website called Trees I've Met. I love climbing trees. And in this poem, the idea of trees sort of came out for me as a place, being among trees is a place where I could let go of all the conventions and decorum and societal expectations, politeness, everything that I'm expected to be in society, and feel that freedom that people feel in nature. So that's kind of what this poem is, To Be with Trees. Oh, and one thing, there's a really long word in this poem. God loves your eyes because they made them this beautiful color. It's all one eye, one word. So when I read it really fast, that's why. To be with trees. I dreamed of trees with blue veins and a forest full of wilting. And there, all my Southern girl self, full of no thank yous, full of you first, and go ahead and have the last piece of cake. I want that last piece of cake. Dreamed the trees made me my own torte, and I could have the whole thing. My sisters, the trees, they said, come now, sit, eat. They had blue veins in the forest full of wilting, and I cried. There were no forks. They said my hands were fork enough. And when I tried to say please, the trees said my eyes were please, and they said my mouth was thank you. And the trees cried too. They had beautiful eyes for crying, a color I had never seen. So I named it, God loves your eyes because they made them this beautiful color. Now, anyone who ever saw the color would think of the trees and the meaning of the trees, which was to be. Okay, so this one is called Modus Operandi, and it is from the section of Dear Selection Committee that it says, describe your management style and how you assign tasks. I put ranch dressing on the Greek salad. I stand in my front yard in the rain and yell, I'm the biggest waterfall in this desert. When people invite me to parties, I say no, then show up anyway. I bring my cat dressed in a graphic t-shirt with an image of another more attractive cat. I tell everyone I've just returned from my honeymoon, and when they ask to see pictures, I show them the cover of the 1855 edition of Leaves of Grass. I like kissing people I don't know, sending flowers to random addresses and signing the card, eternally yours, God. I'm a window cracked in the rain. My name is sitting down and standing back up again for no reason. My motto is wings flapping. You should come back into my room if you miss me. I'll be there soon. I'm 1,000 miles away on a different bed. So the last poem is Ars Poetica. So sort of a theory of poetry. And this is also a new poem that is not in a book yet. Then my voice filled with ryegrass and clover, under the bridge where gravity broke the horses' necks. I wanted to learn the secrets of mating for life. I wanted to catch the falling hooves in my lungs and pedal air into him. Manes became radiant, the way I myself have been beautiful when broken. The way I myself have understood that nothing is mine. Grief is composed of the scent of rain, the near extinction of buffalo, and the genetic memory of surviving by using the bone of someone you once loved as a weapon. What I mean to say is, when I remember my child falling asleep in the high chair, spoon in hand, a little dribble on the chin, it splits my heart into stanzas that must be written down. What I mean is, if I disturbed the silence, it was only because I cared. Thank you.